Good morning, this is H coming at you with another Autodesk Inventor 2023 SolidWorks education tutorial. This is lesson 29 and 30. We're more than halfway through this packet. We're just kind of keep on moving forward, plugging along. If you've been going along with these, making these along, hopefully you're getting more and more comfortable with the software, with creating part files, with looking at a drawing, right? Those are the goals as we are moving forward in this and just kind of talking through it, right? Making different part files, talking through it. Hopefully you're getting more and more comfortable with these basics, right? So this is lesson 29. Let's jump right in. So as we're looking at lesson 29, and looking at the isometric, it's a stair step, right? It's the stair step effect, and we talked about this in a past video. If you've been looking at these videos and going along with the series, we talked about this idea of when you have like a stair step, like one level and then another level. Look at the top view and look at the profiles that are there, and it's just extruding up two different heights, right? So we have a stair step. It isn't much of a stairs. There's only two steps to those stairs, but it is a stair stepping kind of a looking part. And we can know that our top view is the one because it has the most visual information, and that's where all the dimensions seem to be as well, right? We're looking for visual and numerical information when we're looking at drawings like this as to where a good starting point is for creating the part file. So I'm going to slide those over here and jump into Inventor, and we're going to start our millimeter part file here and start our sketch on the top plane, right? This again, this is the XZ plane. And we're going to start with the circle tool. And we're going to start right at 0, 0 because it's always easier to dimension a circle starting at 0, 0 because we don't have to add the vertical and horizontal dimensions. We are going to have to do that though, because there's a lot of circles in this part. So we start with a 40 diameter circle. That's this. We're looking at the outside edge here. Then we're going to also have a 20 millimeter diameter circle that's here. Now we're going to have to go into some lines as well. So we have a line that's going to come 30 out from this way. Again, this is 30 at 180 degrees. It's going to be tangent to this line here. We might have to add that tangency later. This dimension here, this is 40, which is also the diameter of the outer circle, and then it connects there as well. Let's make sure that there is tangency. And again, there's a video on the channel that covers these constrained features here, dimensioning, and these buttons that are in here. Very useful to use when sketching. Okay, so we have the tangency here. We're fully constrained, but we still need to add a few other things here to make sure we're good. We actually need to trim this out first. Like this is an issue because this circle comes straight and comes back in. So we're kind of having this interesting like C shape that's going on. We have a 10 and this is also a 10, so that is there. And then we need another line down here at the bottom, which is 10. And then it connects down to this bottom line here. That's also 10. And then we're trimming out what we don't need. There it is. So yeah, here's our like C shape that we have here connecting to this outer circle. So this is a kind of a tricky thing, right? Because we had circles that we started with and we trimmed out what we didn't need and we drew some lines in and we trimmed out some more to get this shape. There's other ways to do this. I just find it easier to start with the circles and to draw those things in for just the basics, right? So it still says 2 dimensions are needed here, but I feel like these are pretty spot on to what we need. Let's see if they do move like that. So let's do something real quick. Let's make sure this is accepted there, that this is maybe tangent. There it is. Now we're good. Now we're fully constrained and looking good. Tangency is a big deal when it comes to circles and lines being used in collaboration like they are here. The last thing we need, it looks like, is a circle right here in the middle. So again, we're using the little shortcut of this green dot that appears when it's at the midpoint of a line, like we're on this edge, this line edge. Go to this green dot, which is also on the x-axis. That's the midpoint of that line. And this circle is a diameter of 20. And then we actually can trim out everything we don't need, which is this outer and this line here. And of course, it's going to say like, oh, we got major problems now. Lots of dimensions are missing. So we can go back in and just make sure that we add those dimensions just like that. Maybe this. Oh, just kidding. Everything's maybe this line. There it is. So we're fully constrained again. Again, there wasn't really anything that changed when I add those dimensions in because we had locked pretty much everything in place. But because we trimmed the line that was the midpoint of this circle, it was saying, whoa, lots of like you eliminated the dimensions and the definite, where all the rules I was following when you cut that line, when you trim that out. That's why we had dimensions needed again, because that line that we were using the midpoint of was cut. So that's the reason why the dimensions needed to be re-added if you were going for a fully constrained sketch. However, in this case, like there wasn't anything that really shifted or changed when we trimmed those lines. So everything was still in the right location and looking good. But it's always good to make sure you're fully constrained to make sure your sketching is accurate. So now we have those two profiles. We have two profiles and they're going to be extruded two different heights to make this happen. So this profile here, this is our first one. This is going to be 20. And we'll hit the plus sign here to add another one. This profile here, this is 40. And I'll hit enter. Let's expand this out so we can get a good look at it. And that there is lesson 29 of this packet. It looks good. Looks accurate. We're looking good. So again, very simple. If we go from the top view, look at it from the top view, draw the profiles that are needed. This one's a bit trickier with the profiles, with the circles and the lines and some tangency things. So, but once you get that sketch, all the hard work is up front, right? You want to do hard work in the sketching rather than in the modifying and extruding or creating of the material for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll start our new part file because we still have to do lesson 30. And lesson 30 is this one here, a bit more involved for sure. We got a lot going on with this part. It's a lot happening. And this one is also it's a little bit tricky. Well, I'll be honest, it's a little bit tricky because of this chamfer right here. This chamfer here makes it kind of tricky. Where you kind of have, if you're going to do it from the top view, which is not a bad idea, we might do that. If you extrude this rectangle here up, you need to chamfer it probably before you extrude this up fully, because it's going to join those bodies together. And if we have time in this video, I'll show you an example of what I mean by that. But there's going to be a little bit of a trick to this to get that chamfer to be correct. And so there's going to be a lot of additional things going on here. Obviously, we have an incredibly busy front view of our sketch here. There's a lot of information here. And in this particular instance, it's almost too much to really start from the front view. We could begin from the front view and be fine. And we just might. I'm looking at it, I'm seeing like the top has this. There's a hole that's going to have to be cut out. Yeah, let's do it. Like again, the top view is a decent starting point. If you're more comfortable drawing the profiles and extruding them up different heights, it's just going to be tricky right here for that chamfer. But this, we're going to start with drawing this out and extruding these and kind of playing with the front view a bit because of the amount of information that is here. And also, like, we're just gonna have to cut out a circle, do some filleting. Yeah, we'll be pretty close to complete if we drew this front view. So that's what I'm gonna start with. Right? Again, there's no right or wrong here. It's just, what do you feel comfortable with beginning and how you're beginning? So let me go to the XY plane. We're gonna start right at 0, 0 here. We're gonna do our vertical line. We're gonna go up 20. We're going to be making multiple profiles here. So this is 10 over. 20 down, 10 there. So this profile of this rectangle here, this is an interesting one. This is going to be being extruding out the furthest distance, and there's going to be a hole cut in this and everything else. So in our front view, this rectangle has some hidden lines in it that are representing the hole that is cut into that. So then for up from here, this line here, this is going to be 30. Across the top here, we'll go 20. And then we have an angle that comes down. We'll say it like to there. We'll dimension that in a minute. This line goes down 30. And then it goes over 10. Yep, over 10. Down 10. And again, we're definitely going below our baseline of our x-axis. So let's adjust this, because when we dimension this, it's going to get this perfectly in line. And then we have a line that goes from this corner here to this point here. Yep, there's the connection that was made, but our dimension here, this is what matters. This is going to be 40. Good, it's all coming together here. And now we have to have a diagonal. We have to diagonally connect this point to this point here. This is that interesting chamfer that I was talking about. If we did this another way, because of the way that the part looks from the front view compared to the top view. Okay, so we have this going on. We have this going on. We're fully constrained. Let's add the circle that's supposed to go here. This is a diameter of 10. And then we need to dimension where this circle is, because the circle is not at the 0, 0 point. We have to dimension where it is vertically. There's that. And also where it is horizontally from this edge here, which is also 10. So there is that. Lots of dimensions in this, lots of things to can get confused. Just drawing this out, but we have all of our profiles. It looks like I'm just verifying we have this profile, rectangle, this. So yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. So this is our front view of our drawing. We drew this in a sketch on our front view. Let's finish the sketch. And now we're going to extrude these different lengths, right? So now we need to make sure that we extrude everything correctly. This is 50. This is the longer piece for sure. So that's 50. And then we're gonna see, let me plus sign it. We're gonna see this one here, not 50, but 20. Good. That's 20, plus sign it. And then this one here, this is 10. And you'll notice that the chamfer's kind of, it's shrinking, right? It's kind of a trick of the extrusion. We're covering part of what we just extruded, so it's not going to look like it's chamfered. It's going to kind of cover up that other side. So once we extrude that 10, we'll hit enter, and there's that. So we have a few finishing touches on this part to do. We're going to do some fillets. Fillet tool, radius is 10. This edge, as well as this one. Let me verify, see if there's any others. I'm not seeing any more. That's done. That's, yeah, those are the two fillets that are due. So I'll hit OK. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to put a hole right here. There's a circle that we need to cut out. So let's start a sketch here. And that circle is actually center point on our fillet. So let's highlight the fillet, click on the center point. It's a 10 millimeter diameter, and then we're just cutting out all the material. And there it is. That there is the finished product of lesson 30, right? A little bit of a tricky one, a little bit of an interesting one. Again, you could have done it from the top view, you could have done it from the front view, could have even done it from the right side view. This one is definitely an interesting part because of all the features and the holes cut on the different planes. Again, the XY plane being here and the YZ plane being this circle, right? So lots of stuff going on for sure. And so it's all about getting your comfort level up and doing as many of these parts as you can to improve. All right. Thank you all for watching. You have a great day.